Hello.
Hello, hello.
We have been having fun tech challenges today. So
Take 50.
right. One of those days. Gotta love it. So we're going to be watching the comments today. If you log in through StreamYard, we'll get to see your name and add it to the stream. Otherwise, it'll just say Facebook user. So make sure that you put your name in there so we know who you are and can greet you. So today I'm still on the breakthrough kick. Of course, I'm on the breakthrough kick. I always want to see everybody get their next level, right? It's always about glory to glory in the kingdom, always something better, always something higher. And this week I came across a couple of stories that I wanted to talk to today about what I see that often holds people back from their next level. And this is straight out of scripture. And so I was like, let's talk about this, because there's nothing new under the sun. And so let's learn. And the first story was in 2 Kings about Naaman, who was, he was some like elite general guy, but had leprosy, actually contracted leprosy, and was sent to Elisha to get healed. And so I can only imagine, he's this big wig dude, right? And so he's going to Elisha and, hey, heal me. And like we do, like so many people are like, hey, you got a magic wand, fix this for me.
Yeah.
And Elisha told him to go dip in the muddy river, whatever river it was a muddy river, 7 times. And now, okay, this is pre-jetted tubs. I think about, my tub,
Could
my
be
big
natural
shower,
springs.
right? But so this is, like they didn't take baths every day and stuff, right?
Right.
So anyway, his response initially was like, "You're kidding me! Like I have access to the cleanest water ever over here, and you want me to go play in the pig water, basically, right?" And so pride, right? When we think that's below us.
Yeah.
Somebody has a key for us.
Right.
And we think that's below us.
Yeah.
Will absolutely keep you from breakthrough. Pride will absolutely keep you from breakthrough. And so I was thinking all the different times that, really honestly, like that I've had to humble myself because somebody that was younger than me or didn't have their life all together in all the different areas, or
different
had
education.
a key for me. Different education, different had a key for me. And I could have been, no, which I'm just not like that naturally anyway, but that kept him from immediate breakthrough. And what I find interesting is we do find in Luke where it made reference to Naaman and how, tons of people had leprosy except Naaman. So he eventually did what he was supposed to do. But I find it intriguing that it pointed out like he was the only one that got healed. So then I'm like, okay, so because I think delayed obedience is disobedience, but fine, it's disobedience and then you fix it later on. But what was lost in that period between disobedience and coming in alignment? And for me, especially since like my whole thing about double significance is not about me getting double significance, it's about me getting significance and multiplying it to others. And what was lost? And I'm just thinking, I think that Naaman, if he had been immediately obedient, there actually would have been keys for everyone else's healing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I love what you're saying because the humility or humbleness, whatever words you want to use, his servant is the one that pointed out to him, what are you doing? Like, this man of God told you what to do and you're not doing it. What are you what are you doing? And so for him to have to listen to a servant and take that, key from him of, that key of wisdom of, oh, okay, because, the servant pointed out, and Naaman pointed out, why didn't he just tell God to do it for me? Like, why do I have to go do this? Like, he had to put action to what he needed to do, what the Lord had instructed Elijah to tell him to do. But he didn't want to. He wanted to just have this magic wand wave, like you said, and, just put the skin back where the leprosy is and make it happen, instead of him having to take those faith steps of action and be engaged himself to make his life better. But it took a servant to point that out to him of, now, if he would have told you to do some grand act, would you have done this grand act, as opposed to this easy peasy thing? But it takes faith to go get in a dirty, muddy river when you think it's below you, right? And so, just everything of what you said is that held him back from that breakthrough, not only for himself, but that breakthrough for his people. When we don't step into what we're called to do, step into that breakthrough just by listening and identifying that wisdom that other people carry that we don't expect are the ones that would have it, we keep those that are called to receive that breakthrough from us receiving their breakthrough. I feel like I just said breakthrough like 20 times in one sentence.
Well, to me too, you point out the whole servant thing. So Naaman was dealing with pride, right? Like you're kidding me? You want me to get in that river? I have access to this beautiful river over here. Tell me to get in that river, right? So he had this pride issue. And so his servant even had to come, this second time. Like, the Lord's never going to just leave us, right? He's always going to pursue us. But it's always going to be in this way. Like, he had to dismantle pride. So in order he had to get over pride to get what he needed. And how many times do we do that, right? Well, I want breakthrough, but it needs to look like this, and this.
Right.
So pride and control, I mean, obviously they work hand in hand so oftentimes. And what breakthrough do you have access to, but yet you don't, because you don't want to do what it's going to take to do in order to get it.
Right. That's funny. I'm reminded of this story. And I mean, I guess it would be rooted or related to pride of, like you said, you have access to it, but you're not taking hold of it because you're waiting because the Lord's bringing something better. And it's that story of the man on the roof during the flood. And, he's like, Lord, rescue me. And he sends somebody first he sends somebody in a boat, and then he sends somebody another way. He's like, nope, I'm waiting on the Lord. And then he sends somebody in a helicopter, and then he dies. And he's like, Lord, why didn't you rescue me? He's like, I sent three people, or whatever the story is. But he's like, I sent people, and you did not take the breakthrough. You did not take the freedom that was right there. I sent for you because you had in your mind, and this prideful mentality of, oh, he's going to send better. It's going to look different. And instead of just stepping into the muddy water that he's given us and doing what we've been told to do and seeing that breakthrough happen.
Yeah. And, with what the people specifically that we are called to raise up, the high capacity leaders that we work with, this is their Achilles, pride, right? Because those that are so capable, right? Super capable people that it's easier, to get it done yourself, blah, blah, blah. You're capable, you high capacity, have the hardest time asking for help.
Yeah.
And that is just plain and simple. It's a pride issue.
Yeah.
It's not just, And I've heard every excuse under the sun. Well, I'm going to, be a better steward with my money. I'm not going to spend it. Well, okay, so it's now 10 years later, you still don't have the breakthrough. How much has it cost you? And at this point, how much has it cost everybody around you?
Right.
And that is and this is a perfect example. Naaman, he was a bigwig.
Yeah.
They are the ones that typically deal with the pride issue.
Yeah.
And not accepting the help in the way that it's offered to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to me. Like, literally, just it's so easy to lay your agenda down, lay yourself down, and just receive the breakthrough.
Yeah. I just keep hearing that a lot of that, which we identify in the Abundant Living Mapping Program, is the fear of a lot of that pride is rooted in fear I'm going to look bad, fear I'm going to make a mistake, fear people are going to know that I don't know everything,
Yeah.
fear of, name it and name it. But name
You're
it.
so punny.
I know, but name it. And, then whenever I've given into that, though, and pushed through that fear, I like to say, just punch fear in the face and walk through it, because it's always a liar. It's always a liar. And when you do that, you realize, because other people share, oh yeah, I don't have it together either. And so it's just this false facade, this false pride that, we need to break free from so that we can get the breakthrough.
Yeah.
A little punny there too, but
you're on a roll. Yeah. So there's a couple more stories. The other story that just breaks my heart, the rich young ruler comes to Jesus, right? What is it? I mean, he knows what's before him. Like,
yeah,
what do I need to do? Oh, and Jesus is like, lay down your money.
Yeah,
he's
your
like,
possessions.
Okay, what else?
Yeah.
It's like,
there's got to be more.
What's the plan B? Maybe I'll take the plan B.
Yeah.
And so that unwillingness to really part with like your idol, and honestly, what we find oftentimes is money.
Yeah.
Right. And not trusting the Lord with your finances. Like,
right.
We all know that if the rich young ruler had gotten rid of all of his finances, he would have had more than enough. Like, if he did that exchange with Jesus, who knows what would have happened, right? He definitely wouldn't have gone without the blessing for how many generations, right? But he wouldn't part with his money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that will hold you back from breakthrough.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Generosity is a key, whether you're being generous with yourself or others. Generosity is a key in the kingdom.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Laying it down for what he tells you to do, and believing and standing in belief on all of his promises of having abundantly more than we can even think or imagine. And, if the enemy does take something, we will get it back sevenfold and thousandfold, even more than we can even comprehend, that he will make it right. And so just holding on, what is that? Idolatry, but also pride, altogether. Because, oh no, I know that this is better. Even though that is an interesting story, because he knew what he was looking at, but he didn't want to give up,
make that exchange,
what he had right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the third one that jumped out to me when I was thinking about this conversation, and if any of you guys watch The Chosen, you're gonna get this. If you didn't watch The Chosen, what's wrong with you? Go watch The Chosen.
Actually, this week is the Chosen marathon. Getting ready for the next.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So go catch up. Was my point.
So Nicodemus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like bawled.
I think I had some tears. Yeah. For him. Because
that was full blown fear of man.
Yeah.
So there's breakthrough. What's in front of you.
Yeah.
But what if I look bad?
Yeah.
What if, I have people that disagree with me? What.
Yeah. Yeah, because and the way, on The Chosen, they portrayed it, you could see his heart just have that breakthrough. Like it moved from head knowledge to heart knowledge of this is the kingdom. This is what Jesus is
Yeah.
walking. This is Jesus, what he's
Like he
walking
knew
and
that he knew.
talking.
Yeah.
He
got it.
knew,
He got it.
yet he made a choice. He stepped into that free will and chose not to
Fear
go
of
with him
man.
and be one of the disciples. I mean,
I
could
know.
you imagine? Rewrite that story. If
Right.
Nicodemus stepped into a disciple, like, wow.
Yeah, wasn't he? And again, here I'm horrible theology, but like
I'm not
part
a
of the
theologian at all either.
He was like part of the Sanhedrin, like the highest
Yeah.
of the rabbis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how would that have altered the entire Jewish
Yeah.
nation?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just yeah. So when we don't step in, so here we've got pride, we've got greed, or idolatry, however you want to put it, not separating, not making a transaction, and fear of man.
Yeah. Well, back to that fear, right?
Yeah.
Fear of.
And I wonder, if really the rich young ruler had a fear, if I give all my money away, I won't have anything.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Eat fish and bread all the time? You know what I mean? So if all of it is,
I don't want to eat what John ate. No locusts and honey.
Right? So if all of it, is rooted in where I always say fear and pride are two sides of the same coin anyway. If all of it is just rooted in fear. And so it can manifest, fear can manifest in any number of ways, right?
Yeah.
But that is what's not going to only keep you from your breakthrough,
Right.
but it's keeping other people around you from their breakthrough.
Right.
And that is just so frustrating to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That legacy gets lost that you were called to bring, that you're called to carry. The piece that you have, it's missing for sure.
Yeah. And so wrapping this up, you guys, I cannot tell you enough. We are in such a season that's like a really good season. So let me tell you, if you're listening to any of these prophets and talking heads and
chose your words.
I know. If you're listening to anybody that is just, I know, that's, filling you with fear, with hunker down, with, stock up your supplies because the world's coming to an end, type mentality, even if they try to tag on something redemptive, it's a crock of stuff. Let me tell you something. Historically, in times of recession, depression, war, all of those times that have repeated themselves over and over and over and over and over, and they're going to repeat themselves until his kingdom manifests on earth as it is in heaven. Those are going to repeat themselves. The people that stepped in boldly into their next level, into breakthrough, are millionaires and billionaires when it's done. Every single time throughout history. So I might not be a theologian. I'm also not a historian, but I do know that stuff. And some of the biggest companies now started as little nothing mom and pop shop in the garage in times like this that are now multi-million, multi-billion dollar industries created around them. I can go down a whole list, you guys. This is not the time to hunker down at all. This is the time to press forward. This is the time of hope. This is the time of encouragement, of operating as that high capacity leader, giving strength to others, and get into your next level breakthrough. It is this time.
Right, right. No, I totally agree. Discovering what it is you carry, what piece of the breakthrough through that you have that you can give to the world, that you were designed and created to carry into the world, and how to deploy that. How do you manifest that, right? What do you create with that and step into it? And we've seen that with COVID. Those businesses that broke outside of what the world said, broke outside of the negativity, broke outside of the box that they were trapped in, and they decided, hey, let's set up tables outside. They now have multiple franchises, as
Right.
opposed to those that did not, and now they're closed down,
Yeah.
which is really sad. Businesses that have been in business for generations
Mhm.
closed down because they decided not to step into a breakthrough moment,
Yeah.
into the new era, outside of the box thinking, and how can we make this work? What kind of solutions, and be solutionaries here on earth, can we do to keep this going and multiply as we're called to do on earth?
Yeah.
And so absolutely stepping into that breakthrough is
Well, I mean,
powerful. And
think about the things that developed because of COVID. Uber Eats,
yeah.
right? And now I think there's like 3 or 4 of
Okay,
them,
wait,
right?
Marissa's favorite, have them get your groceries for you.
Yes,
Pick up.
maybe curbside or grocery delivery.
What?
Come on, right? It's like I don't have to go in the grocery store anymore. And that gave more people jobs. And
Yeah.
you guys, industries shift and change when you see the opportunity before you. And this is we have numerous programs that literally help you step into that. Our super foundational abundant living mapping, obviously, right? And then we've got, KLM that, helps to disciple women and grow stuff. We've got, master retreat intensive that is the high level breakthrough. What is God wanting you to build in this season?
Right.
This is the season to press into that, you guys.
Mhm.
If you don't have a clue, it is okay. The pursuit of it, right? And the Lord says, go, and you go. Abraham had no idea where he was supposed to go.
Right.
God just said, go.
And he did.
Right? And
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
So when he's saying just go, you don't have to understand it all. You don't have to have the answers. You have to have that faith. You've got to have the humility.
Yeah.
Right? You've got
Yeah.
to press past the fear.
Yeah. Yeah. And the belief beyond yourself,
Yeah.
the belief in what the truth says is the truth. And you have to stand on that, even when it doesn't look like it's supposed to, even when it's not like, okay, skin, you're healed. It's go get in the muddy river and come out and take that to the generations, because they watch. Because a lot of it is your testimony in the process. He's with us in the process. The mess is in the process. The breakthroughs in the process. And when we choose not to go through the process because we want it to be pretty, because he's going to show up this way, that's where we miss that breakthrough that we're called to bring to future generations that are waiting. Even the earth is groaning, waiting for us to step into who we are and who we were created to be, and carry that breakthrough that we have.
Yeah. So you guys, breakthrough is so, obviously you're probably getting sick of me talking about it. But until I see everybody break through to their next level, you guys, there's always a next level. We are to go from glory to glory.
Right.
It is not get comfortable and stay in your little box. That is not what we were designed to do. And so until I see everybody, pushing into their next level, we are at the beginning of an epoch that is going to change everything. And I want to see everybody engaged. And, I'm just going to encourage you right now that if you don't know what that is, right, that's okay. If you're a high capacity person and you're afraid to say, I have no idea what that is, that's okay. Private message one of us, right? Because we want to partner with you and help you discover what that is. We need everybody in the arena, everybody on the playing field. Martin Luther King Jr., I quote this quite oftentimes. He had the whole right idea when he said, you have to fulfill your purpose in order for me to fulfill my purpose. Like, we are all connected.
Right.
And that is a kingdom principle that everybody has got to get. Like, I'm super passionate, right, about breakthrough and next level, because you've got to get those next levels in order for me to get those next levels, right? In order for Jen to get those next levels, because we are all connected. So please, please, please get over the fear. Get over the pride. Be ready to make a transaction, okay? Because transactions bring breakthrough. It's a whole different Jewish mindset. That one of the reasons why they're literally the wealthiest nation in the world. I'm not going to get into that today. But you guys, there is blessing in transaction. There is blessing in walking in faith, stepping out where the Lord tells you to step out. There's blessing in laying your pride down and operating in humility, right? And then that overcoming fear and stepping out in that courage and faith.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, you guys. Yeah. And if you're not getting your breakthrough, you've got to look at one of those areas and be like, which one's holding me back?
Yeah. My mind's going all kinds of places, and I know we got to wrap it up, but I'm just thinking you can't expect abundance that we're promised and not sow into yourself, not sow into your future, not sow into your children, your children's children, not sow into kingdom things and expect breakthrough. When you don't plant anything, you can't expect a return. Like, go back to that story in the Bible, like the whole seed story, go to a farmer. They'll tell you didn't plant crop. You didn't till your ground. You didn't water your crop. You didn't take care of your crop. You didn't harvest your crop. You're not going to have no bread. Like, there's nothing.
Pretty basic.
So to sow into yourself, though, that was a mind bender for me, to sow into myself and actually see the return on that when I did. Because to me, it was, I just brought up in church. It's like, oh, you only sow into church, but sowing into yourself is, your good soil, your fertile soil, your good soil. And so, good things will come through the breakthrough as you break through like a little seed through the ground.
Yeah.
And
well, that's funny. I mean, I know we got to wrap this up, but the seed has to die.
Yeah, you have to die first.
Right?
Yeah.
So die to that pride, die to the fear, die to the greed, die to whatever it is that's holding you back. And speaking of seed,
you need fertilizer.
Yeah, right? Some of us have plenty of that. But Proverbs 10:22, I'm going to come back to that, because when the Lord had me take on that scripture, it's a blessing of the Lord that makes rich and he adds no toil to it. He had taken me to the fact that what he blesses has the DNA in it for prosperity. It already has it in it. And so, like the acorn doesn't have to figure out, am I going to be an orange tree or an oak tree, right? How many forests are contained in a single acorn? And that is the multiplication of God's blessing. So then we're like, okay, well then what are you blessing? And this is where we get it wrong, is we build something that we get some cockamamie idea, or it might be a good idea, right? But then we do all this stuff in our strength.
Right.
And then we're like, okay, God bless it. And he's like, well, I didn't tell you to do that. That's not what I designed you to do. That wasn't the dream that, I built you around and at the foundation of time, right?
Yeah.
Not that he's not a bad father, so he's not going to completely hold back from you, I don't believe, but his blessing that makes rich is on the thing that he created you to build, because he's got the big picture.
Right.
So he's like, I need this here and this here and this here and this here, and I'm going to tie them all together. But if you're not doing your piece, the whole piece is not complete. But you're over here going, but well, I'm over here and I'm doing this, Lord, bless this.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that's great. I love it. You're sweet, whatever. But I really need you over here building the thing I designed you for.
Right, right. That's funny because it's a message that I was going to do later today on my Facebook page was what seed do you carry? Like what kind of fruit are you producing? And when you're trying to be an apple tree and you were created to be an orange tree, and you're like, why are my apples orange? You're not identifying with what you were created to carry because you're trying to be something else, somebody else. You're looking at left, you're looking right. I want to be a pear, I want to be an apple, but you carry oranges, which are magnificent in themselves and have so many properties that pears and apples don't have. And so to be aware of what it is you carry, those seeds that and what cultivate what is inside of you is super important.
Yeah, and I think that's key, and we'll wrap it up with that is you've got to discover what you were originally designed to create.
Right.
Because he has a plan.
Yeah.
He had a plan from the beginning of time for you to create something. You provide a solution for something. What is that?
Right.
Right? What is that? Let's figure that out. I need you to figure that out, right?
Our children need you.
Yeah, I know that sounds a little dramatic, but it's true. So anyway, guys, until next week, love the conversation and press into that breakthrough.
Blessings.